Supreme Court Judge Cooper Ross.
Chief Supreme Court Justice Gunnar Hiron.
Supreme Court Justice Joseph Funches Grigsby.
Supreme Court Justice Darren Tran.
Court Case 00-805, Portnoy versus Davis, Skinner, and Silver State School Board. Would the prosecution like to make an opening statement?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Attorney General Lucas Villaflor, VILA, FLOR, representing my client, Patricia Portnoy. So I would like to remind you guys that my client is bringing this civil suit against the school board for violating her rights under the First Amendment of the United States. And I have the burden of proving to you that her rights were violated. Specifically, her First Amendment right, freedom of speech. Now again, I will cite that if my client's speech were a matter of public concern, then my client's rights have been violated. And the school board is guilty of violating her First Amendment rights. And may I define matters of public concern again as political, social, or other concern to the community for which free and open debate is vital to informed decision making by the electorate.
And how was your client's First Amendment rights? How do I word this? How were your client's First Amendment rights violated?
I'm gonna get into that right this second. So, okay, so on page 1 of my appellee teacher brief, so first let's start off with what happened. A new curriculum was introduced to the school. She did not like that. She protested against it in a open house handout and in multiple letters.
In what manner would you say that she protested against this?
Like what do you mean?
In what manner would you say she protested against this?
I'd say calmly, given what was happening to her at the time.
What did she do, or what did she do to protest? I guess.
Like I said, she wrote on handouts. She wrote out printed handouts at open house that she gave out to parents, which expressed her dislike for the new curriculum. And I wanted to say that she was, after the principal found out, she was demoted to a position that gave her $3,000 less salary. Now, there's already a teacher shortage in Nevada. I would like to say that first. And to have a math chair demoted is dangerous considering the teacher shortage in Nevada. Now, next I would like to point out my client that she might have been upset and that might have caused conflict. But this conflict is completely justified given the fact that this curriculum directly affects her students in a negative way, some of her students in a negative way, specifically the high-performing students. Now, it is a matter of public concern because it affects the parents as well. The parents of these high-performing students, their kids will be adversely affected by this new curriculum. And that is why it is a matter of public concern, which they denied it was.
Prosecutor, were the parents made known of the change in curriculum before the teacher brought it up?
If you're unaware, that's all right. Please continue.
Okay, but my point still stands that this affects the parents of these high-performing kids. Their academic growth will be stunted throughout their middle school years because of this new curriculum. And I think that's why it's a matter of public concern.
How so? May I ask how so? How will it be affe- affected moving forward?
Wait, what?
How will their education be affected moving forward and growth?
It combines all levels academically. When talking about math, they're going to combine all the students regardless of their knowledge when it comes to math. So there will be less promotion of competition simply because low-level students are competing with high-level students. That's just unfair. And they're all going to be teaching the same exact things, right?
Statistically, does that make them better or worse?
The high-level students?
Either.
It makes the low-performing students better, but the high-performing students worse.
How so?
The low-performing students get to be in a class with the high-performing students and move at a certain pace, correct? However, the high-performing students must go at that pace. They cannot go further than that pace. They have to slow down for the low students to catch up to them.
Proceed.
As I explained before, yes, this is a matter of public concern again. They violated her First Amendment rights by censoring her. This affects the parents of high-performing students. I think that I made that point clear enough with the evidence I've given. Now, moving on. Moving back to what they said about her sort of mannerisms when it came to finding out about this. Of course, there would be conflict because it affects the students in a negative way. I just explained how it affected them in a negative way. She disagreed to it, and of course she would object to it, of course. Like, there would be conflict in there. They specifically quoted chaos as an effect of this, but I think that's an extreme term because my client truly cares for her students.
Was your client notified about the changing curriculum in enough time to adjust for new students?
No, she was not.
All right.
What would have been the appropriate time to notify your client? The defendants have spoken that they've given her a week to console about it between themselves. What would have been the appropriate time?
With all due respect, I don't think there would have been an appropriate time. Maybe I'd say at least this is 1 week before school started, correct?
So to answer the question,
So to
what
answer
would
the
be an
question,
appropriate time?
at least a month or two to adjust her curriculum around that.
Before this, when was the curriculum introduced? When did everyone else have prior knowledge before her?
1 week. They had 1 week ahead of her, specifically the principal.
Proceed.
Like I said, my client truly cares for her students. She majored in math, so she personally would know the best way to teach. So this is what caused the conflict. Saying it's chaos is extreme and radical. And again, that would lead her to protest heavily against it because obviously she would think that it wouldn't be a benefit to all of her students. Now, I will say that the program before this adversely affected low-level students, yes. But it was to her discretion, right? She knows what is the better program. So obviously she would be upset if that better program was taken out by a new program that's basically does the same thing, but affecting the other side of the aisle, low level to high level. Like I said before, this is a matter of public concern. I cannot stress that enough. It is a matter of public concern, and our First Amendment rights of freedom of speech were violated. Like I said, I'm going to repeat this as many times as I can.
Attorney General Villaflor, your time is up.
So do I go
Thank you.
back?
Yes.
Defendant, please step up to the stand. We don't have enough time, unfortunately. Thank you.
Your time has begun.
Good morning, Your Honors. District Attorney Josiah Coronado, representing the Silver State School Board, and Principal Skinner. As he said, she calmly protested, which is fair and protected by her
Excuse me, sir. One moment, please. Can we please silence all phones?
her
Okay.
First
Proceed.
Amendment right. However, going into an open house and undermining her authority / coworkers in front of parents and students isn't a sound way to act in any workplace. And with her signing of her contract saying she acknowledges she will be professional and conduct herself in a professional manner, her First Amendment right isn't being violated. No, technically there shouldn't be a perfect time, and honestly, the school actually did have, I believe the Attorney General, Lucas, said that the school gave the parents and her a week to know the new curriculum. She was actually given a month. There was a month. So they were given ample time to prepare for the curriculum for this teacher and for the parents to be allowed to know of this decision and for her to prepare her curriculum accurately. And she was able to prepare a story in the news. So obviously she had enough time to prepare a curriculum if she was able to write a story to submit to the paper.
Defense Attorney Coronado. How long were the parents and her notified?
1 month.
How long was the curriculum out before they were notified?
How long was the curriculum out before they were notified?
How long was the curriculum decided on before they were notified? Excuse my insolence of vocabulary.
I believe it was the same amount. The school board decided on it 1 month before, and they were notified about 1 month before as well. Now the only problem came when the teacher, being a disgruntled employee, as I previously stated, decided.
Disgruntled. Please describe disgruntled.
Disgruntled means to be angry or irritated at the state of a certain thing. For example, oh, yes, okay. So, disgruntled employee Miss Portnoy decided to write a letter to the newspaper because of how the principal and the 4 teachers, who she was very angry at for going to talk to the principal without her go-ahead about the curriculum. Even though she's not responsible for the curriculum. It has nothing to do with her. Her responsibility is not for the curriculum. Her responsibility is to teach the curriculum. That's it.
Why would the head chairman of the math department not be responsible for the math curriculum?
It is only the administration and the school board that are responsible for creating the curriculum and deciding on it. The chairman of the math department is allowed to teach the curriculum. She can suggest things, but that doesn't mean that she gets to decide on things. That
But
is all up.
what makes her a chairman then? What is her job as chairman?
The chairman's job is
Sorry,
to work.
position as chairman.
Yes, the chairman's job is to work on some things that other teachers might not want to do, such as more technical things, such as working with parents a little more. I think that's the main thing. She just has a little more technical job than many of the other teachers. She has duties a little outside of teaching, but her main priority is still teaching.
Please elaborate on her job description.
Okay. Let's see. She is responsible for she was responsible for overseeing this math department. She is responsible for making sure all the teachers are doing their jobs and making sure she herself is doing her own job as a teacher. She is responsible for communications with the principal and the school board. So obviously, if they do change the curriculum, they will notify her, as they did after the curriculum was notified, or after the curriculum was set in stone. They notified her.
Defendant, would you look at page 4, number 8
Page 4, number 8 of what?
of the excerpt of record that goes over her positions, and it even talks about her administrative work? So would that not fall under the category
Page 4,
of
number 8.
administration?
The title of chair of the math department is customarily bestowed on the teacher with the most seniority and a willingness to do some of the administrative work that accompanies the position, administrative work for which the chair receives additional compensation. So she is willing to do some of the administrative work that accompanies the position. Now, that does not mean she's an administrator. That just means she does administrative work.
Question. Her case study, there's a interview taken on the 3rd day of June 2002. The witness sworn in with a co-reporter by Ms. Davis. Question, she had to spell her name out, did so correctly, was asked, have you ever had your deposition taken before? She replied, no. Why is this if she's having it done now?
You're asking why she's never had a deposition taken before?
This is not an erratic situation.
I'm
When reading through her case study, she's apparently not disgruntled by your definition.
deposition.
No, it says she's very not disgruntled by your definition.
Definition.
She's.
Where is this? Which question is this?
This is question 1 of the interview, I believe.
Question 1. Well, I'm sure.
Page 7
Page 7.
of the exit of record.
Yes.
Do you mind giving us a little bit of insight as to previous behavior?
So I'm going to read the question I think you're talking about. So you're saying question 1 of the interview with.
My apologies, question 2.
Question 2. Okay.
Would be right after her spelling her name.
Okay. So while I'm sure you have discussed this deposition with your lawyer, I want to review some of the deposition rules before we start, even though we are here in my conference room. These
Nope, question above that. That's question 3.
Okay. So have you ever had your deposition taken before? That's the one you're interested in?
Yes.
So what are you asking about the deposition?
This, if in reading through the rest of these questions, she is not at all confused, angry, or anything else of that nature.
You're saying she's not angry? She's
By
not.
by analysis of response, she's not confused, angry, or any sort of over emotion. Is that your timer? No, it's outside. Okay, so
I would,
would you mind giving a description as to why this would happen now?
why she would not be angry, or.
And why how long has she been working at the school?
She's been working for many years. She has seniority.
Define many.
I don't know the exact number of years, but I do know that she has seniority because she is the math chairman.
If she has seniority, no, proceed.
So I would say that she actually was very irritated in certain parts of the interview. Let me find it exactly. Oh, here it is. So, question, why were you concerned? Answer, because based on my 3 decades, also this is page 10. Based on my 3 decades teaching math at Silver State Avenue, I felt that the new program would have a negative impact on the methods we have used to teach 6th grade math. Besides, I was chair of the department. I thought any major changes ought to be run by me. This is showing she's irritated. She's angry.
Which implies seniority.
Yes, I'm not challenging that she has seniority, but that doesn't really enter into it.
Mr. Coronado.
One sec, I will be downstairs. I don't think we're gonna make it back by 1:50, 1:55. Can I trust you guys to be down there by 2? Yes. Okay, see you down there.
Mr. Coronado, who do you think is the most qualified to change curriculum, especially math curriculum in this case? If it is not the most qualified math administrator position, not administrator, but higher position of math curriculum in the school, who is most qualified? The administrators or the chair of math?
I believe it would be I would believe it would be the administrators and the school board. The school board obviously would have people who are interested in the affairs of the schools, and they would obviously have information related to the schools. They would have the demographics. They would have the information relevant to the situation in order to make a decision. So they would know exactly what the students need, and they would know they would have a more broader perspective on what is going on, and they would know, for instance, that with the previous curriculum, Hispanics and African Americans were disproportionately negatively affected by that old curriculum. The core link curriculum would help fix that. And this teacher, Miss Portnoy, is not accepting that. She doesn't agree with that. She's sticking with her old ways. She doesn't want to change with the times.
Thank you, Mr. Coronado. Continue.
Let's see. Okay. So, also, I believe my opponent brought up that the school board had censored Miss Portnoy, which they had not. In the months prior to...
Please define censorship.
Censorship meaning to not allow someone to speak their mind. I think that would be a good definition. Am
Proceed.
I wrong? The school board had never censored Miss Portnoy. They had allowed her to speak before open house. They had allowed her to write stuff in the newspaper. They had written back. They had not done any punitive action at that point. It was only once open house happened, once she had acted inappropriately and violated her contract, that they had...
And with that, your time, Mr. Coronado, is over.
Thank you.
Your rebuttal may begin now.
How much time do I have?
You have about...
Would the defense please go back up?
For rebuttal. Thank you.
preferably right now. May the defense please...
Unfortunately, we are low on time. We will do rebuttal
it's okay.
back and forth.
Slight adjustment to how rebuttal is going to work because we are very short on time. We will set a timer of about 10 minutes.
He said that we're not going to be down there by 50.
Yeah, but at 50, so at 55.
Said that we're not going to be down there by 50, so he trusts us to be down at 2 o'clock.
We each ask them questions one by one, and they can go back and forth for 8 minutes.
There's
And we do 4-minute closing.
Yes,
Proceed.
starting now.
Debate starts now.
So I would like to point out this case rides on freedom of speech, first of all. It doesn't ride on how she acted in any way.
Actually, first question. Can the both of you please define censorship?
For me, censorship can be defined as discriminating against someone, shutting down their way of communicating with the public based on their opinion.
I would say censorship is not allowing someone to communicate in any way, not allowing them to communicate their opinion to people overall. In certain circumstances, obviously, it could be considered not censorship, but for the most part, censorship is just not allowing someone to speak their mind in a given circumstance.
It wasn't allowed. That's why they demoted her. It wasn't allowed. They censored her completely.
She was absolutely allowed to speak her mind. In the month leading up to the open house, she was allowed to speak her mind as much as she wanted. It was only once she had acted inappropriately that that punitive action was taken because she had acted inappropriately. Before that, it was fine, and there's nothing. They did not care. They let her write in the newspaper. They wrote letters back, obviously saying that they had seen her letter. They were fine with that. It was only when she had acted inappropriately
Question for the both of you.
that they were not.
What is the best way to describe her course of actions between the two of you?
Her course of actions from the moment she learned about the curriculum, or from open house?
Her correlations afterwards.
Her correlations
Oh,
afterwards?
sorry, her actions afterwards.
Her actions after she had learned about the curriculum. Okay, so her actions after the curriculum, she spoke to Principal Skinner, and she objected to it. She was very angry about the curriculum and very much disliked it. Obviously, Principal Skinner went ahead and took it to the school board. They approved. And obviously, once open house, during the month leading up to open house, she communicated with the public. She spoke her mind, unaffected by the school. And then once open house happened, she wrote a memo using the school's letterhead, using her official title as math chairman, to object against the curriculum that the school board had put in place.
What defines math chairman? Sorry, did you?
He never got his chance to.
Please rebuttal.
But yes, she had a month to look over this curriculum and prepare for it, but she didn't have a say in the final decision at all. And that can explain why she was upset, and reasonably so. I think most of us would agree that.
She was never given a reason to think that she was allowed to participate in the planning of the curriculum. I believe if we look at her.
And why do you believe there's no reason she would believe she would help with curriculum?
Help planning with curriculum, I believe in her.
To second our senior Supreme Court Justice, what made her unjustified in believing so, given her job description?
I believe.
Given her job description and experience, please consider both.
So, obviously, when making a curriculum, it is not usually up to teachers to decide, oh, I want to make the tests about this or about this. This was actually a recent thing. At Liberty High School, we had a situation where English teachers were given a new curriculum by the school board that they had not planned for, and that was totally fine. That was up to the school board. None of the English teachers, the English teacher chairman,
Yes.
had no.
But would you say that the school board chairman for English was not a major part of creating this new curriculum?
She might have been. She would have to talk to the school board. That's the thing. In order to affect the curriculum.
Might I remind you, chairman is a position in the school board. So I would like to point out that when we're talking about creating curriculum, chairman positions should be taken into consideration.
School board chairman, maybe. I do not believe that a math or an English chairman should be a part of the school board. I don't think they are, based on the fact that the school board decided otherwise.
So, what do you believe made her justified in her action?
Well, obviously, it was a change in curriculum she didn't support. She believed it adversely, negatively affect her students.
Better question. How does the adversity in her students provoke emotion when given a new curriculum? No, this is just him.
Because she has experience with old curriculum, so she would know if new curriculum would be worse or better off with her students.
Either side, do you feel as though she was given enough time for it to have been tested and or read through?
The new curriculum, she was definitely given enough time to have it looked through and read through. Though I believe.
How long is said curriculum?
How long is said curriculum?
Yes.
I believe it's like a school year. It doesn't really specifically say in any of the documents how long the curriculum is. It just says it's a curriculum. It's for core and math classes to go together and link up so that students can learn more about both at the same time.
In turn of a 3-month span, which is normally a summer, would we agree? How long is a normal school year summer?
I'd say about 2 months.
So in turn of the 3 to 2 months that she could have had throughout a school year summer, she was given a month to pick through / skim through / read through an entire school year's curriculum, correct?
Yes. I would like to add, though, this is a curriculum that has been tested before, and she would have resources to use. She would have online resources that she could use to research information about the curriculum. And
For the record, she is a chairman, correct?
yes, so she would have even more resources, and she would be able to consult chairman. I'm sure chairmen have like group chats, online group chats that they could consult in order to learn more about individual curriculums if they needed to
Stop.
know more.
Thank you, sir.
Even if it was enough time, 1 month out of the 3 months summer lasts, she did not have a say in the final decision about her own area of the school. I mean, it's obviously something she disagrees with heavily. That's what this case is about. Freedom of speech. Not
Thank
That
you.
concludes your time.
We will now give you both 2 minutes together for closing statements. Just say your closing statements. No need for a timer.
okay.
Forget about a timer.
Okay, I'll make it quick. So, Your Honors, you've heard everything. We've put everything on the table here today. This case is about freedom of speech, not about whether or not she is qualified to teach the curriculum or if she had enough time to learn about the curriculum. She disagreed with the curriculum. She made it clear she disagrees with the curriculum publicly, and she got censored, like I said before. She got censored, and that is not right considering it is a matter of public concern, specifically because it affects not only the students, but the parents of these students. And that is why her freedom of speech was violated. Thank you.
So, in America, we believe in the principle that a person is innocent until proven guilty, and this also applies to school boards and principals. And everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I believe that I have shown you that there is at least some reasonable doubt that the school board is guilty for censoring this Miss Portnoy's freedom of speech as a disgruntled employee. I would just like to remind you that she is an employee. She was acting as a representative of the school. She acted in an inappropriate way, and in violation of her contract, she went against the school board and the principal in order to try and create discord and chaos among her colleagues.
Thank you. We will now discuss.
All rise.
Regarding the case of Patricia Poitenoy versus Silver State School Board, we, the Supreme Court Justices, find the Silver State School Board guilty on accounts of infringement on the constitutional right to freedom of speech. The court is adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming. Let's get out of here quickly. Also, thank you, Senate Building, for having us here.